Hey everybody, Matthew Solomon here, coach with MatthewSolomon.com. I just had this amazing conversation with my good friend Lily Claire Love. And if you're not Facebook friends with her, if you don't follow her on social media, you should, because she's brilliant and one of my dearest friends. And we were talking about sex and intimacy. And we were, getting into, she asked me, because we were talking about consent and men feeling rejected if a woman doesn't want to have sex with us, or feeling like we're raised to go out and pursue the woman and make her say yes and make her love us, and if she doesn't, we don't really have anything to do with that, and so we make it mean things about ourselves, or we get frustrated, or we get angry, or we internalize it, and it's fucked up. So she asked me, what can men do to channel that energy, or what can we do with that energy? And so I was thinking about sex and intimacy and how we tend to, as a society, make that the same thing. We say intimacy as a euphemism for sex, because sex is so bad and wrong here in the United States, that instead of saying, I want to have more sex with my partner, we say, well, I want to be intimate with my partner. Where's the intimacy? And they're actually two separate things. Intimacy is a much bigger thing that sex can be a part of. Sex doesn't even have to be intimate. I think it is, but it's not, it doesn't have to be. Whereas intimacy is intimacy. Intimacy is connection. Intimacy, for me, is feeling that oneness with the other person. Intimacy is feeling open and vulnerable and taken care of and cherished and nurtured and honored and respected, and me doing the same for her all at the same time. And what I've learned in my journey and in the last few months is that sex doesn't have to equal intimacy. That intimacy doesn't have to equal sex. And if I would have said this a year ago, 6 months ago, I would have had a totally different answer. And so, I'm somebody, I was married, and like most marriages, we had money and sex issues. We weren't having sex, and that was a problem. And then when we did have sex, we were so disconnected because we weren't intimate that it was like, okay, we just did that. Now we're gonna, watch TV. And so when I came out of my marriage, in my relationships after that, I was like, I am never going without sex again. That is never going to happen in my life again. And I made sure that whoever I was with, and if I wasn't in a relationship, I made sure that I always had somebody to have sex with, because I was never going to go hungry. And then I got deeper into my Tantra practice, and then I met an amazing woman, and the sex was incredible, and the connection was incredible, and we were very intimate. And then she had some health issues that came up. And so we weren't able to have sex. And it was okay, because the intimacy was off the charts, because we would talk and share from deep places, and we would take care of each other. And I would know that if I shared something I was dealing with, if I was upset with something, there was something that pissed me off, I could share it with her, and she would hold it and not make me wrong, and we could work through it. And she could do the same for me. And we were vulnerable with each other, and we would go dance together. And when we danced, it was off the charts. Way more intimate than a lot of sex I've had in the past. It was just incredible what we would create. And we would do yoga together. And we would laugh together and talk on the phone together. And all these things that created this intimacy to where I didn't feel rejected. I didn't feel like I was going without anything. I'm also, I have my own practice of self-care and self-love and knowing myself and learning myself and nurturing myself. So it was an opportunity to really be open and loving and sharing and caring with somebody and not need to rub up against her in return. And when that happened, it was awesome. And so as a man, from the conversation I was having with Lily, we're raised in a culture that tells us that we have to go out and get the woman, that our self-worth is measured by who's sleeping with us, that our self-worth is measured by how much money we make. And our self-worth is so tied to money and sex that if we don't have it, who the fuck are we? And it's like being a child, in a corner with our mom not paying attention to us, not feeding us, not hugging us, not telling us she loves us. And so we act out and we get frustrated. And we can't turn to, our brothers and be like, I feel like shit, because we're not supposed to even have emotions as men, according to our society. So if you're looking for that connection, if you're looking for that intimacy, if you're looking for that safety, it does exist. You just have to be open to it. I didn't know that it existed until I was open to it. That's really all I have to say. If you want to know more, you can reach out to me. You can send me a message. We can work together. You can ask me a question. I'll post a video response. There's so much more than just what we get to do physically in this world. Turning into ourselves, looking at ourselves, spending time meditating, talking with ourselves, finding out what makes ourselves tick. There's so much beauty in it. There's a lot of pain there. And there's a lot of beauty there. So to the woman that I spent that time with, I am eternally grateful because I learned some stuff. So thank you for liking and sharing this. As always, you can reach me at coachwithmatthewsolomon.com.